Well, welcome everybody. Thanks so much for joining us on our virtual open house with Adair Homes. We're going to be doing a open house for the Liberty floor plan, and that is our 2,670 square foot floor plan. We're going to still just wait another minute or two for people who might be a little late to the party here. So as a few more people join, then we'll get going. All right, well, just again, by way of introduction, thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Charlie Tarrin, and I am one of the home ownership counselors here at Adair Homes. I'm joined today by my colleague, Joe Becerra, who's going to be kind of my wingman and remind me of all the stuff I'm bound to forget as we go through the process here. But we just want to extend a sincere welcome to all of you today. Thanks so much for carving out time out of your busy schedule to be with us. We're going to be looking at the Liberty floor plan today, and that is and has been one of the most popular floor plans for Adair Homes for quite a while now. And I think by the time we're done today, you'll see some of the reasons why that is. We want to point out a couple things before we dive in. We are going to look at the floor plan itself, both the standard plan. We're going to be looking at what this particular homeowner did in terms of customizations, things like that. And then we will be watching a video. The video is what we would refer to as a dusty shoe, which means it's not a fully completed home. It has not been fully cleaned yet. That does a number of things. It gives an insight as to our process and kind of some of the stages involved in completing an Adair home. And it allows you kind of behind the scenes look at active construction. But there is enough there to point out some of the key details of this floor plan. We want to point out, of course, as a Zoom meeting, we do have a chat function. We really would welcome any questions that you would have. This is tailor-made for the folks who join this meeting. So we're not going to rush through this. We're going to show the video twice. The first time, we'll have a little bit of stop and start, and we will field questions along the way. The next time we show it through, it's only about a 9-10 minute video. We're going to let it run in its entirety. If there's any questions after that, please be sure to let us know. But if you do have questions at any time during this presentation, please let us know. We'd love to try to field those as we can. A couple things we want to point out specifically with this plan. It is the farmhouse exterior. If you've spent any time at all on our website, you've probably seen that we have a number of different exterior options for every floor plan. This particular homeowner elected to go with the farmhouse exterior. So we'll be looking at that. There are some key things. If you have reached out to a home planner at a specific office, we would hope by now that you've received a standard features page. And that's going to list out all the things that come standard with all Adair homes. And those would be things like hardy plank, cement, fiberboard siding, Geldwin dual pane low E windows, IKO architectural composite roofing, and then of course kiln dried Doug fir lumber, Moen plumbing fixtures, Shaw floors, PEX plumbing, etc. If you would like more of those specific details, please by all means reach out to us, and we'd be happy to provide that to you. We do want to point out that currently Adair Homes does have a pretty incredible promotion going right now. We are offering a 30-year fixed finance construction loan at 4.875 interest rate. There is technically an expiration date to that, so you do want to take advantage. If you're interested, you want to take advantage of that soon. But once again, we'd be happy to give you more details on that if you're interested in construction financing. All right, Joe, am I missing anything? Or are we good to dive in?
No, we're good to go. Let's just remind everybody that we really encourage questions, and where you would submit your questions at the bottom of the screen would be the Q&A button. So feel free to start submitting those at any time, and Charlie and I will get to those.
So before we dive into the video, I'm just going to share a screen here for a moment, and I want to highlight a couple things. Joe, is that working so far?
Good.
Okay, so this is the Liberty floor plan. Since our particular homeowner selected this plan, the standard square footage of this home has increased slightly. The original square footage was 2,659 square feet. It's now 2,670. But this is the Liberty plan in what we would refer to as the reverse orientation. A couple things to point out: large primary suite, a good sized 2-car garage with kind of an extended shop space in the back, a great den option, and then a very open great room floor plan, very logically laid out, and very ample sizes. Utility room slash mud room right off the garage. And you have the option of adding additional cabinetry, utility sink, etc. This is going to be the upstairs of this particular plan. You'll notice that it has a very large bonus room right at the top of the stairs. This has been used as a media room or just a kind of hangout area, and then 3 more good-sized bedrooms and a double vanity bath. Lots of closet space, lots of storage space in there as well. But I just want to show you also what this particular homeowner has done with this plan. So this is the same plan, and obviously there's been some modifications. A couple of those things will be they've added a 3rd-car garage. And this can be done with most of our floor plans. In addition to that, they did a customized bump out to the primary suite. So that's a little bit larger. They elected to go with the option for bumping out the dining room as well. So you've got a 12 by 18.5 foot dining room area, so good sized dining room. And they also selected the pantry option. And when you do that, this is a standard option that can be chosen. When you do that, it simply slides the closet for the primary suite over a little bit, and you have a 4-shelf walk-in pantry. And that's been a very popular option as well. Some of the lighting option, by the way, added the cabinets in the utility room, as we just talked about, added some LED lighting in the garage and what we would call the man door on the side. Upstairs didn't do a lot of modifications. That's essentially stayed the same as the original plan. And we're just going to scroll down. So this is the farmhouse exterior. That has the more board and bat exterior siding. It would still retain the lap siding on the back. You can now, on the back elevation, you can see the bump out to the master suite. And they've also added a covered patio area as well. So that's just the general overview of the floor plan. And then as we go through, like I said, we're going to be watching the video at this point. And I will do a little bit of a stop and start. Remember, as we said at the outset of the meeting, this is a bit of a dusty shoe, so it's not fully complete. You'll see some things that still needed to be done with this plan, but it's a good representation of where a home would be at this stage. So we're going to start obviously with the exterior, and again, this is the farmhouse, and we'll just go ahead and get going. Couple things to point out real quick. You will see our Craftsman trim. And if I remember right, I think they've chosen the black doorknobs, plumbing fixtures, electrical fixtures as well. This has the den and the utility room on either side of the entrance, and we'll see both of those things. Just one more thing to point out as we're looking at the den. Adair Homes provides 3 different lighting packages, contemporary, traditional, and what we would call a modern farmhouse. For some folks, they may choose a particular lighting package and then do some custom lighting of their own. This is a fixture that the homeowner chose. Adair Homes provides also all of the interior and exterior painting, which we did for this homeowner, and yet they elected to do just an accent wall or 2 in some areas, and you'll see what those areas are. A little hard to see here, but the Liberty floor plan also offers under-stair storage, and you'll see a little doorway. This is under the stairs to the 2nd floor. It actually has a lot of storage under there and great use of space, and this homeowner elected to do that as well. Couple of upgrades to point out for this particular home. People do often ask the question, hey, what's standard? What's an upgrade? We have a model home here with a full design center at the North Willamette Valley office in Aurora. We'd love to give you a tour and talk with you about those. But just to point out a few things, this is, of course, laminate flooring, and it's throughout the majority of the main floor. These are quartz countertops, of course, the farm sink. You're going to see a full height backsplash, and these are the gourmet appliance package, and that would be double built-in ovens, the built-in microwave, a big drop-in cooktop, 36 inches wide, larger range hood, etc. But we'll see all those things here as well. So this is the pantry that we were talking about, the 4-shelf pantry. We do wood shelving, and again, lots of storage space here. Heading into the primary suite, this is the primary bathroom. You'll see LVP flooring, quartz counters, undermount sink, and tile shower as well. By the way, Adair Homes does offer a jetted soaker tub, and that is in this bathroom.
Hey, Charlie, we do have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
So they're wondering, the interior doors going to the bedrooms and bathrooms are upgraded. Is that correct? Is the only standard choice? Is that the only standard choice? A 6-panel, I believe is what they're meaning to say.
So a 6-panel door is our standard, currently our standard option. By the way, good question. We have about 4 other door styles to choose from, and they would be a slight upgrade. So it would be, it would not be a, a hugely budget impacting thing to change door styles. You absolutely can do that. Let me know if we've answered that question adequately or not. And we need to expand on that. One of the options for the Liberty floor plan is to do vaulted ceilings in the primary suite. It's a 212 pitch, so it's not an excessive vault. And due to the camera angle, it makes it look a little lower here, but it is a nice feature to add if you're interested in that. Couple quick things to point out for the great room. The gas fireplace is an option to choose from as well. And then for this particular home, you can also add what we call the privacy windows. They're 2 foot by 2 foot. You'll see that on either side of the fireplace, and those are optional as well. Get a lot of comments on our stairs for this particular plan. The width of the stairs is pretty ample. And then at the landing, there is a really large window there that adds a lot of light coming in. Stepping into the bonus room, again, the standard for this particular plan is flat ceilings. However, For this, for the Liberty plan, the bonus room upstairs can be vaulted, and that's what you'll see here. So there's actually 3 closets in the hallway. One is a storage closet, a linen closet, and then a furnace closet. So actually quite a bit of storage there. And this particular bedroom upstairs does have a large walk-in closet as well. Okay, so the patio cover is not installed yet in the back here. For some reason my screen. Well, it's glitching on me, but that's probably not a bad place to stop. So we've seen the exterior in the front. This is just showing the exterior in the back, and then patio cover to be installed later. Okay, so we are gonna pause there for just a minute. Joe, any questions that have come through at all?
We don't have any more questions, but I just encourage anybody, if you have any questions, regarding this particular plan or any features you saw or standard options, feel free. But if you have other questions like, you know, how does Adair work? What if you own land already? What if you do not have land? How do you start the process? Any kind of questions you have, we'd be happy to answer. You can just type them in and Charlie and I will address them, please. But for now, no more questions yet, Charlie.
Okay. Well, and we would always encourage folks to, if you have not done so already, our website does offer quite a bit of information. There will be other virtual tours of the Liberty floor plan on our website, so you can see photo galleries as well as other virtual tours, and just a lot of great information there. Simply our name, adairhomes.com, and you can check that out. So at this time, if there are no other questions, that is the majority of our virtual open house. We're going to play the video through one more time without any pauses or hesitations this time. And then if there are any questions at the end, we will go ahead and field those as well. So with that, we're going to play it through one more time. And there may be some folks that, you know, missed a portion of it or whatever. So I want to show it in its entirety, and then we'll field any other questions if you have.
So Charlie, we do have a question, and I think you can just let the video play and just kind of take the question. The question is, what about sloped land and outside house plans? Is there a limit in the amount of slope? Are the other house plans easy to use?
Yeah, that's a great question. The amount of, you know, completely flat properties is becoming less and less all the time. So Adair Homes does work with sloped property. And what we would do is we would identify how much slope that you have when we do the property evaluation. So before we build any home, we're always going to start with a site visit and assess all of those things. For some people, it might just be 1 or 2 feet. We've had folks that have 7, 8, 10 feet of slope in their build site. And we would simply do a stepped or what we would call a tall wall foundation. So there's really no slope that we can't address, can't deal with. And we would then identify how much is needed. Obviously, the more slope you have, the more materials are needed for building your home, both in terms of concrete for foundation, as well as what we would call a pony wall, which would include lumber, siding, etc. And so we would provide pricing for each particular lot depending on what is needed. Any follow-up question or thought you had on that, let me know, and we'll try to expound on it. I will point out, I think one of the added aspects of that question was, are certain plans maybe easier to work with than others? Adair Homes currently offers, I believe, 42 floor plans. All of them can be built on flat or sloped property. Obviously, the larger the plan, or let's say the depth of the plan, the more that gets into the slope area, the more drop off you're going to have. So yeah, there may be times when we say, hey, if you went with a wider plan that wasn't as deep, you wouldn't get into the slope as much. And therefore you'd have, you know, you might maintain the same square footage, but the layout is different. So you'd have less added foundation. But all plans can accommodate sloped property, but we might offer some feedback as to, you know, how you orient the home, et cetera, that might mitigate those costs for added foundation.
Hey, Charlie, so our same guest has a follow-up question. He is asking, does the site visit cost anything, cost to evaluate? Great
question. So we would always ask the homeowner to take a couple of steps in order to do a site visit. One, either you own property or you're purchasing it. If you're purchasing it, we would ask that you have a a purchase and sale agreement in place with a due diligence period. So you can certainly back out. You don't have to purchase the land, but you have it tied up in your name so that we can do the work necessary to do a site visit and give you pricing. So make an offer on the property. Number two, have your financing in place, whether that's cash, construction financing, or a combination of both. We would, if you're financing, have a basic pre-approval. Super easy to do. Adair Financial can assist you with that and get you that feedback in a very short period of time, get you that basic pre-approval. And then the next one is we do ask for a deposit of what we call the processing fee. It's $3,500, and that comes off the total of your home. If we did the site evaluation and the costs just exceed what your budget is capable of accommodating, and sometimes that happens, that $3,500 is fully refundable. So yes, there is an initial deposit. It comes off the total of the home and ultimately would be refundable if you simply weren't able to move forward.
Hey, Charlie, and then we also want to remind everybody that it also depends where their property is located. In some of their regions, there's potential that you could get a property evaluation before putting that initial deposit. The process is a little bit different. And I just asked him where his property is located so we could determine that. But just want to remind everybody that the best way is to, okay, so he said Multnomah County, so everything that Charlie mentioned in his response would apply.
Correct. Yep.
But like I was saying, if wherever you live, call any Adair Homes office and we can direct you to the office that serves your region where you're considering building, and they can walk you through the process of what it would look like to explore this. And we're happy to give you the overall process, exactly how it works, without putting any money down to see how it works and then go from there.
Absolutely, yeah, it's a good point. These are all good questions, by the way, so feel free to chime in if you have any more. Happy to help.
We are in 4 states, I believe 20 different branches. So that's why it varies a little bit on processes. But like I said, it's super easy to get the initial information and get help on establishing a budget before you commit to a loan or before you commit to buying a property or before you officially sign a contract to build a home. You can get that budget out in front of you.
Absolutely.
So Charlie, another question, since lumber prices have dropped, does that help the customer lower price per square foot? You did a correction there. Thank you for the correction at the bottom there.
Yeah, great question. Yeah, I think we all went through a season of being pretty shocked at what lumber prices did, and that was a bit of a roller coaster for sure. Really what we've seen is that while lumber prices have come down pretty drastically, there has been some other labor and materials costs that at the same time were rising a bit. So things like copper wire, ABS pipe, windows, roofing, concrete, sheetrock, many of those things were actually increasing while lumber was coming down. So in general, what we saw was not a dropping of overall price, but it was more of just an evening out or a balancing of pricing. The good news for our homeowners is that while we would typically see maybe 2 or 3 minor price increases per year, because of that balance, that evening out, we have not seen a price increase for quite some time. Now, Adair Homes has, for our office, our region, the North Willamette Valley, we did have a slight price increase because now Adair Homes is a full service builder, which means we manage every aspect of your building, from site development through to ultimate completion of your home. So there was a slight increase because we now built in a little bit of a management fee for managing site development. So that would be the only change, but in general, the overall cost of labor and materials has just sort of evened out over the past year or so. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just sort of pause the video there. One last opportunity for any questions that you might have, big or small. We'd love to. That's what this is really all about. So we would love to field anything that you have. But by all means, if you go, hey, I don't want to really ask this question in this forum, please feel free to get hold of Joe or myself or local Adair representative, depending on where you're at. But we'll give it just another 20-30 seconds here in case somebody has one last question they want to offer up. All right. Well, once again, we just want to extend a heartfelt thank you for taking time out of your day to join us. We look forward to the opportunity of serving you. Again, that often starts with just exploring Adair Homes as an option. So whether that's meeting with us to talk about process or going through our model home design center, talking about your budget, assisting with that initial finance application, we'd be happy to do all of those things. But we look forward to talking to you soon, and thanks again for being a part of our virtual open house today. All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.